9 foreign car brands are bleeding cash like a radiator with a baseball-sized hole. While the media spins you feel-good stories about market evolution and strategic shifts, the truth behind closed dealership doors is catastrophic. Foreign manufacturers that once dominated American roads are now slashing prices by 40 to 50% just to clear inventory collecting dust. Showrooms that commanded premium pricing for decades are running fire sales that would embarrass a going-out-of-business furniture store. You have been lied to about supply chain recoveries and market stabilization. The reality is, these foreign giants are in survival mode, and some are already drafting their American exit plans. In this video, I am revealing exactly which 9 foreign brands are circling the drain, why their desperate discounting cannot save them, and what this automotive bloodbath means for anyone considering a purchase. If you want to know which brands are dying before your dealer does, hit that subscribe button right now, because what I am about to expose will change how you see the entire car market forever. Number 9. Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi's American presence is so weak that most shoppers forget they still exist. Just 7 years ago, Mitsubishi dealers were moving respectable volumes of Outlanders and Mirages, offering competitive value in crowded segments. Today, those same dealers are operating like automotive ghosts, maintaining showrooms that rarely see customers and surviving on razor-thin margins from service departments. Some locations are offering discounts exceeding $15,000 on leftover inventory, amounts that exceed the actual profit margins by multiples. Behind this desperation sits a product lineup so outdated it belongs in an automotive museum. The Mirage, Mitsubishi's entry-level offering, uses technology and design language from the early 2010s. Consumer Reports consistently ranks it among the worst vehicles money can buy, citing anemic performance, unacceptable safety scores, and build quality that feels a decade behind competitors. The vehicle exists solely to advertise low starting prices that lure customers into showrooms, except customers have stopped coming. The Outlander, once a respectable contender in the compact crossover segment, now faces competition that has evolved 3 full generations ahead. While Honda, Toyota, and Mazda invested billions in hybrid powertrains, advanced safety systems, and connected technology, Mitsubishi's updates amount to minor cosmetic refreshes. The plug-in hybrid variant shows promise on paper, but virtually nobody knows it exists due to marketing budgets that have evaporated to almost nothing. What really kills Mitsubishi is the complete absence from consumer consideration. Market research firms conducting automotive shopping surveys report that Mitsubishi registers below 2% awareness among buyers under 40. Walk into a shopping mall and ask 20 people under 30 to name a Mitsubishi model, and 19 will stare blankly. This invisibility cannot be fixed with discounts or rebates because you cannot sell to people who have forgotten you exist. The dealer network is collapsing in slow motion across suburban and rural America. Locations that once generated profits now survive only through service operations and used car sales. New Mitsubishi sales have become almost incidental to their business models. Industry analysts tracking franchise agreements note accelerating terminations, with former Mitsubishi dealers either closing entirely or picking up different brands that actually move inventory. Each closure further reduces Mitsubishi's already minimal visibility. Parent company Mitsubishi Motors shows declining commitment to the American market with each passing quarter. Investment in United States-specific marketing has dropped by over 60% since 2020. Product development focuses almost exclusively on Asian markets where the brand maintains relevance. American operations increasingly feel like a legacy obligation rather than a strategic priority, maintained only to avoid the embarrassment of complete withdrawal. Number 8. Peugeot and Citroën. These French brands represent the most spectacular failure of Stellantis's American ambitions. After decades away from United States shores, their attempted 2023 return lasted barely 3 years before reality crushed optimistic projections. The brands arrived with bold promises about design innovation and European sophistication that would captivate American buyers tired of mainstream options. Instead, they found a market utterly indifferent to their existence. The awareness problem proved insurmountable from day one. Americans under 50 have zero emotional connection to brands that left before they were born. Peugeot's last American presence ended in 1991. An entire generation of car buyers grew up never seeing these vehicles on roads or in media. Attempting to reintroduce them required educational marketing spending that Stellantis ultimately refused to sustain against minimal returns. Pricing strategy backfired catastrophically as executives misjudged American willingness to pay premium prices for unknown brands. Initial models arrived with price tags exceeding comparable Japanese and Korean alternatives by 15 to 20%. Premiums justified by vague claims about European engineering and design heritage. American consumers responded with mass indifference, refusing to pay extra for brands without established reliability reputations or service networks. The dealer recruitment disaster compounded these problems. Stellantis struggled to sign up dealers willing to invest millions in facility upgrades for brands with zero market presence. The few dealers who agreed demanded extensive financial support that made every sale unprofitable. Most dealers who signed on were existing Stellantis partners, adding French brands to showrooms already selling Jeep, Ram, or Alfa Romeo, creating internal competition for limited foot traffic. Product misalignment revealed executives completely misunderstood American preferences. Peugeot arrived with small crossovers and compact cars in a market increasingly dominated by three-row SUVs and trucks. Citroën offered quirky styling that European enthusiasts love, but American mainstream buyers found confusing or unappealing. Neither brand brought hybrid technology, advanced driver assistance, or electric vehicles competitive with established players, eliminating key differentiators that might justify their premium pricing. Service and parts infrastructure never materialized beyond promises. Buyers hesitant about French reliability had legitimate concerns about long-term parts availability and technician expertise. Without hundreds of dealers nationwide, getting warranty service required travel that made ownership impractical for most Americans. These concerns proved self-fulfilling as minimal sales meant minimal infrastructure investment, which guaranteed continued minimal sales. The withdrawal is happening quietly without formal announcements that would generate negative press. Dealer agreements are being modified with exit clauses. Marketing spending has vanished. Inventory shipments have stopped. By late 2026, both brands will have effectively abandoned America again, this time likely permanently. Stellantis executives are learning what Volkswagen, Fiat, and others discovered. American success requires decades of investment that most foreign brands cannot justify against entrenched competition. Number 7. Alfa Romeo. The Italian brand's American dream is dying, despite creating genuinely excellent drivers' cars. Alfa Romeo's reliability reputation remains toxic after decades of stereotypes that recent improvements cannot overcome. Ask any American over 40 about Alfa Romeo, and they will mention beautiful cars that spend more time broken than running. This perception, whether fair or not, has calcified into conventional wisdom that decimates resale values and terrifies potential buyers. Current models like the Giulia and Stelvio receive rave reviews from automotive journalists who praise their handling dynamics and emotional character. Consumer Reports and J.D. Power tell different stories, ranking Alfa Romeo consistently in the bottom third for reliability and owner satisfaction. Electrical gremlins, infotainment failures, and minor component problems plague owners who bought into the passion over practicality marketing message. The dealer network is laughably insufficient for a brand with premium aspirations. Alfa Romeo operates fewer than 120 dealers nationwide, compared to over 300 for Audi and over 350 for BMW. Major metropolitan areas have single dealers covering millions of potential customers. Rural and suburban buyers face drives exceeding 100 miles for service, a deal breaker for anyone considering long-term ownership of a vehicle with reliability question marks. Financial desperation shows in incentive levels that destroy any premium positioning. Giulia sedans with manufacturers suggested retail prices approaching $50,000 are being discounted by $12,000 to $15,000 just to generate showroom traffic. These discounts exceed luxury competitors by multiples, signaling dealers and manufacturers understand the brand lacks pull to command appropriate pricing. Every massive discount further reinforces perceptions that Alfa Romeo vehicles are not worth their sticker prices. Parent company Stellantis is cutting investment rather than doubling down. Recent product roadmap presentations mention Alfa Romeo only in passing, focusing resources on Jeep, Ram, and commercial vehicles with clearer profit paths. The Italian brand's American operations increasingly feel like a corporate vanity project sustained by executive pride rather than business logic. When Stellantis faces its next profitability crisis, Alfa Romeo's American presence will be among the first casualties. Number 6. Maserati. Maserati's descent from exclusive luxury to desperate discounting represents one of the automotive industry's saddest falls. The brand that once competed with Ferrari for ultra-luxury buyers now offers incentives rivaling mainstream manufacturers. Models like the Ghibli and Levante, originally positioned as six-figure dreams, now sit on dealer lots with discounts exceeding $25,000 as dealers panic over aging inventory. The quality crisis has reached catastrophic levels that no amount of marketing can obscure. Owner forums overflow with stories of electrical failures, transmission problems, and build quality issues that would embarrass economy brands. One Levante owner documented 11 dealer visits in the first 18 months of ownership for problems ranging from faulty sensors to complete infotainment system failures. These are not isolated incidents, but patterns repeated across models and model years. Resale value destruction has made Maserati ownership financially disastrous for anyone not leasing. 3-year-old Maseratis retain approximately 40 to 45% of their original values, compared to 60 to 65% for comparable BMW and Mercedes models. A Ghibli purchased for $80,000 is worth $35,000 after 3 years, a $45,000 loss that makes luxury German sedans look like wise investments by comparison. The dealer experience fails to justify premium pricing or overcome quality concerns. Maserati showrooms often share space with volume brands, eliminating the exclusive atmosphere luxury buyers expect. Service departments lack the specialized expertise and loaner fleets that German competitors provide. Buyers paying luxury prices receive mainstream dealer experiences, a disconnect that breeds resentment and discourages repeat purchases. Electrification strategy appears non-existent beyond vague promises about future models. While Porsche, BMW, and Mercedes transition their lineups to include compelling electric options, Maserati offers nothing beyond aging internal combustion engines. The upcoming Gran Turismo electric variant faces skepticism from buyers who question whether Maserati can execute advanced technology given their struggles with conventional vehicles. Missing this electric transition could end Maserati's American relevance permanently. Number 5. Jaguar. Jaguar's American collapse is nearly complete after decades of false starts and failed reinventions. The British brand faces terminal reliability perception problems that have survived multiple ownership changes and quality improvement campaigns. Consumer Reports rankings consistently place Jaguar in the bottom 5 brands for predicted reliability, citing electrical systems, infotainment, and engine problems across the lineup. These rankings confirm buyer suspicions and devastate resale values. Current owner complaints validate these reliability concerns with depressing consistency. The F-Pace, Jaguar's best-selling model, suffers from transmission issues and electrical gremlins that require repeated dealer visits. The I-Pace, initially praised as a credible Tesla alternative, has been plagued by software problems and charging system failures that undermine confidence in Jaguar's electric capabilities. Even the flagship XF sedan faces quality control issues that premium buyers find unacceptable. The dealer network has contracted to unsustainable levels as profitability evaporates. Jaguar operates fewer than 200 dealers nationwide, down from nearly 300 just 5 years ago. Remaining dealers survive primarily through Land Rover sales, with Jaguar representing a minor sideline that barely justifies showroom space. Many dealers have stopped stocking Jaguar inventory entirely, operating by special order only, a death spiral for brands requiring visibility to generate interest. Incentive inflation has reached levels that completely undermine luxury positioning. Dealers advertise lease deals on XF and F-Pace models that rival mainstream brands, with effective transaction prices 30 to 40% below manufacturers' suggested retail price. These desperate discounts move some metal but destroy residual values, making future leases more expensive and creating a vicious cycle of depreciation and discount dependency. The all-electric reinvention plan represents a last desperate gamble that will likely fail. Jaguar announced plans to become an all-electric brand by 2025, then delayed that timeline as reality intruded. Even if new electric models arrive, Jaguar faces buyer skepticism about quality, dealer network inadequacy, and competition from established electric brands that will make success nearly impossible. This Hail Mary pass will probably be intercepted. Number 4. Land Rover. Land Rover's reliability nightmare has reached crisis proportions that threaten the brand's American future, despite strong initial sales. The quality control disaster shows in every independent reliability survey and owner satisfaction study. Consumer Reports ranks Land Rover dead last among all brands for predicted reliability, a position it has occupied for multiple consecutive years. J.D. Power studies tell identical stories, with Land Rover owners reporting more problems in the first 90 days than any other luxury brand. Owner horror stories circulate widely on social media, creating reputation damage that marketing cannot fix. Range Rover buyers document electrical failures, air suspension collapses, and infotainment system crashes that require dealer visits before vehicles reach 5,000 miles. Discovery owners share stories of engine problems and transmission failures on nearly new vehicles. These accounts spread virally, reaching millions of potential buyers who cross Land Rover off their shopping lists. The cost of ownership has become prohibitive even for wealthy buyers who can afford initial purchase prices. Maintenance and repair expenses for Land Rovers exceed German competitors by 50 to 70%, according to ownership cost analyses. Extended warranty purchases have become virtually mandatory, adding $5,000 to $8,000 to effective ownership costs. Fuel economy lags competitors, and depreciation accelerates as reliability reputations worsen, creating total ownership costs that make Range Rovers among the most expensive vehicles to own. Dealer service experiences fail to meet luxury expectations despite premium pricing. Service appointments require weeks of advanced scheduling as dealers struggle with parts availability and technician expertise. Loaner vehicle fleets cannot keep pace with the volume of vehicles requiring service, forcing owners into rentals at their own expense. For buyers paying six figures for luxury SUVs, these service failures represent unacceptable breakdowns in the ownership experience. Parent company Tata faces difficult decisions about continued American investment. Land Rover remains profitable globally, but American operations generate increasingly thin margins as incentive spending accelerates and volume declines. Corporate executives must decide whether fixing quality problems and updating the dealer network justify the billions required, or whether retreating from America makes more financial sense than continuing to battle entrenched competitors. Number 3, Volvo. Volvo's Chinese ownership concerns are killing sales despite creating genuinely competitive products. The Geely connection creates buyer hesitation that has intensified as geopolitical tensions rise. Market research reveals that over 40% of potential luxury buyers express concern about purchasing vehicles from Chinese-owned manufacturers, citing data privacy, quality control, and political considerations. These concerns accelerate as media coverage of United States-China relations remains negative. Pricing strategy backfires as Volvo positions itself as premium without the brand equity to justify it. Models like the XC90 and S90 carry price tags approaching or exceeding German competitors, premiums that buyers refuse to pay for a brand lacking equivalent prestige. Volvo's safety reputation, once its primary differentiator, has been neutralized as all modern vehicles achieve high safety ratings. Without clear advantages, buyers default to established German brands or increasingly capable Japanese and Korean alternatives. Technology leadership has evaporated as competitors match or exceed Volvo's infotainment and driver assistance capabilities. The Sensus infotainment system, once praised for intuitive design, now feels dated compared to latest generation German systems and Tesla's interface. Driver assistance features that Volvo pioneered are now standard on mainstream Hondas and Toyotas, eliminating differentiation that justified premium pricing. Volvo's electric offerings face brutal competition from Tesla, German brands, and emerging Korean alternatives. The dealer experience fails to match premium positioning or pricing. Volvo operates approximately 300 dealers nationwide, insufficient coverage for a brand with luxury aspirations. Many showrooms feel closer to mainstream than premium, lacking the architectural presence and service amenities buyers expect when spending $60,000 to $80,000. Service departments often cannot match the loaner fleets and convenience features German dealers provide, creating cognitive dissonance between pricing and experience. The all-electric transition represents Volvo's final chance to establish American relevance. The brand has committed to full electrification by 2030, earlier than most competitors. If execution fails or buyers reject Volvo's electric offerings due to Chinese ownership concerns, quality issues, or pricing problems, the brand will have exhausted its strategic options. This high-stakes gamble will determine whether Volvo remains a significant American player or retreats to niche status. Number 2, Subaru. Subaru's growth story is stalling as the brand hits a ceiling in American market share. The model lineup stagnation problem has become impossible to ignore as competitors introduce new designs while Subarus look increasingly dated. The Outback and Forester, core models driving Subaru's success, have evolved minimally in styling and technology for multiple generations. Their boxy utilitarian designs appeal to loyal customers but fail to attract new buyers seeking more modern aesthetics. The continuously variable transmission controversy continues damaging brand reputation despite being Subaru's standard powertrain. Owner complaints about CVT reliability, strange noises, and premature failures circulate widely on forums and social media. Class action lawsuits have alleged defects in CVT units across multiple model years, creating uncertainty about long-term reliability. For a brand built on dependability, these transmission concerns represent existential threats to core brand identity. Technology lag has left Subarus feeling a generation behind competitors in infotainment and connectivity. The Starlink system receives criticism for slow response times, dated graphics, and limited smartphone integration compared to latest systems from Honda, Toyota, and luxury brands. Driver assistance features, while functional, lack the refinement and capability of Honda Sensing or Toyota Safety Sense systems. This technology deficit matters increasingly to younger buyers who prioritize connectivity and advanced features. Demographic dependency creates vulnerability as Subaru's customer base ages without adequate younger buyer replacement. The average Subaru buyer is now over 50 years old, with strongest sales and demographics approaching retirement. Younger buyers show declining interest in Subaru's practical but unstylish offerings, preferring more design-forward alternatives from Mazda, Korean brands, or electric vehicles. This age gap threatens long-term viability as loyal customers age out of new vehicle purchases. Parent company Toyota shows declining interest in Subaru as a strategic partner. Recent product collaborations have diminished, and technology sharing has slowed. Industry analysts note Toyota's investments in its own all-wheel drive crossover development, potentially reducing reliance on Subaru's core expertise. If Toyota views Subaru as redundant to its own product plans, the partnership that sustained Subaru for decades could evaporate, leaving the brand vulnerable. Number 1, Volkswagen. Volkswagen's American disaster represents the most spectacular failure on this list, given the investment and time devoted to the market. The Dieselgate hangover continues poisoning brand perception 9 years after the scandal broke. Consumer trust tracking shows Volkswagen still ranks in the bottom third of brands for corporate ethics and engineering honesty. The emissions cheating scandal destroyed credibility that decades of honest business cannot rebuild. Every new model launch faces buyer skepticism rooted in that betrayal. The quality perception gap has widened rather than narrowed, despite objective improvements. Consumer Reports and J.D. Power consistently rank Volkswagen below average for reliability, citing electrical problems, infotainment issues, and higher than average repair costs. These ratings confirm buyer suspicions and justify avoiding Volkswagens regardless of competitive pricing. The gap between Volkswagen's actual quality and perceived quality has become a chasm that marketing cannot bridge. Electric vehicle strategy failures have squandered first-mover advantages in the American electric transition. The ID.4, Volkswagen's first mainstream electric vehicle for America, launched with software so problematic that early owners became beta testers for fixes. Over-the-air updates required multiple dealer visits to install properly. Promised features arrived months or years late. Range estimates proved optimistic compared to real-world results. These failures devastated credibility, just as mainstream buyers were considering electric vehicles seriously. Dealer network problems compound product issues and undermine customer experience. Volkswagen operates approximately 600 dealers nationwide, but many lack the training and equipment to service electric vehicles properly. Sales staff often know less about ID.4 features than customers who researched online. Service departments struggle with parts availability and technical expertise, forcing extended wait times for repairs. For a brand attempting to reposition upmarket, these dealer experience failures are catastrophic. The upcoming product cuts and dealer consolidations signal corporate acceptance of failure. Recent announcements hint at dramatic reductions in American model lineup, eliminating slow sellers and consolidating around core products. Dealer network optimization translates to closing underperforming locations, shrinking Volkswagen's footprint and visibility. These moves acknowledge that Volkswagen's American ambitions failed and that management is preparing for permanent second-tier status or eventual withdrawal. So there you have it, 9 foreign brands that went from conquering America to desperately discounting their way toward exits. What this really exposes is that heritage and history mean nothing if you cannot deliver quality, value, and relevance that modern buyers demand. These brands confused marketing with substance, assumed loyalty would last forever, and discovered that American buyers are ruthlessly practical when trust is broken. The irony is several still make decent vehicles, but they have lost the only thing that truly matters: the confidence that buyers will choose them over alternatives. Which brand shocked you most? Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Smash that like button if this opened your eyes to what dealers are not telling you, and subscribe, because the automotive carnage is just beginning and I will be here exposing every bit of it.